a tenant they couldn't evict,
When was the last time you paid rent? She's a hustler.
and the animals
You have dogs?
Yes.
that should have left with her.
These dogs attacked me without really barking anything. They just jumped on me.
A smaller dog bit you.
Yes,
Where?
on my foot. I had to go to the ER, get my shots. She never came up to apologize.
Judge Judy.
What kind of premises are you renting from them?
It's the bottom half of the property. It's a cabin.
It's a house.
Yes.
Not an apartment.
No.
Before you lived there, where did you live?
Briefly in Reseda, but before that it was Tehachapi in Bakersfield.
Just a second. Immediately prior moving in with them, where did you live?
Reseda.
With whom?
Roommates.
For how long?
3 months.
Prior to that, where did you live?
Tehachapi.
How long did you live there?
7 months.
Who were your landlords there?
I didn't have one.
Who were you living with?
My son, since my separation.
An adult son.
Yes.
Prior to that, where were you living?
In Bakersfield with my husband.
For how long?
My whole life.
So when you and your husband separated, you went to live with your son?
Yes.
Then you went for 7 months, then you went to live with roommates?
Yes.
Okay. Who do you work for?
I do not work.
How do you support yourself?
I am disabled.
When was the last time you worked?
I briefly worked the beginning of this year for a couple months trying to see if I could go back to work
What kind of work?
at a grocery store.
Does the government send you disability?
I'm Social Security.
When was the last time you paid rent to the plaintiffs?
May?
So you moved in April.
Really?
Don't, shh,
Oh, yeah. I never saw
just a second. Don't irritate me. Let's say the last time you paid them, it was in May. Plaintiff said he didn't see that, and they're currently trying to evict you,
Yeah.
and you're not paying rent. So you're a squatter.
No.
Yes, you are. You're a squatter. That's exactly what you are. When you live in somebody else's property and you don't pay rent, you're a squatter. When you lived with your son, I assume you weren't paying rent, but he's your son. Are you related to these people?
No.
Well, then if you live in somebody's property, you have to pay rent.
I agree.
You agree. So why don't you pay rent?
Circumstances happen.
Just a second. There are no circumstances that happen. You moved into a property knowing you couldn't afford to pay any rent, and you didn't pay rent, and now you're putting these people through the process of having to evict you. They have to spend money, they have to spend time, they have a property that they wanted to rent to somebody because they needed extra money, otherwise they would, make a gym out of their cabin. I mean, what kind of person is that?
I was able to pay the rent. when
Just
I
a
first
second.
moved
You only lived there in April. You paid April's rent. And then you didn't pay in May, you didn't pay in June, you didn't pay in July. They're trying to evict you. You're still not paying. When do you have to go back to housing court?
in. I've never been to housing court yet.
So do you have a date?
Not that I'm aware of.
Do you have a date?
She already missed that date, Your Honor.
What was the date?
Oh, God.
She's a hustler.
No.
She's a
I'm
hustler.
Sorry, I'm not. Ma'am.
Oh, absolutely. You're a hustler with them. You may not be a hustler with other people, maybe not with your son, maybe not with your 3 roommates, but you certainly are a hustler with them.
May 31st, Your Honor.
And I've
Here's the
never
filing.
received it.
Here's the filing paper, May 31st.
What was the first court date?
The court date for the eviction
Yes.
hasn't been set yet. The court hasn't set a date for that.
Yeah.
No, she already missed that date
Yeah.
by not showing up. Oh, no, she didn't miss the date. She never
What
responded.
is your last name? Are you Napolitano or Koch?
Yes, Your Honor. Napolitano.
Mr. Napolitano, let's try just to answer my questions. We get through the day much quicker, and I'll be much happier. Was there a court date? That's either yes. No, Mr. Napolitano. That's either yes or no. Was there a court date?
Yes.
What was that court date?
I don't know.
Well, if you don't know, how was she supposed to know?
Well, it was on the papers that she was served with, and
Oh,
I
you
don't
don't
know
have a copy of
because
those?
after she didn't respond, there was no reason to go to court.
Do you have a lawyer who is helping you with this eviction process?
Yes, I'm using the document people. They're
Just a second. Document people.
paralegals.
Listen to me. If you ever want to get rid of her, get
Thank
a
you.
lawyer. That's not what your lawsuit is about. I wish it was. I wish I could issue an order just throwing her out of your premises. If I could, I would issue an order to the marshals to pack her up and move her out, because I think it's disgraceful when somebody purposely moves into a home that they know they can't afford, belonging to strangers, and squats there, and knows that the eviction process, because there are so many squatters, is going to take 6 months. And then you're just going to be so happy to get rid of them, you're not going to bother with them. Just get them out of my premises. You forgive 6 months' rent. She's smiling. She knows the drill.